All right, guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. My name is Polzin with MNF Sports. Going to be breaking down this Monday night showdown slate between the Eagles and the Washington Commanders. This is a slate in which we do have some strange values, but I'll put it out there. There is some value that really shouldn't be priced the way that they are, which could make the lineup process simple tonight. And I'll touch on that right now. So just looking at right now, guys, the Washington Commanders could have some pretty solid value on this slate. Okay, I just want to call it out. Like Cam Sims is a very interesting price point play. Now, yes, he has been seeing some snaps because Dyami Brown has been out. Okay, you look at his snaps the last 4 weeks, it was 72, 66, and 80%. And then last week, it was 44%. What was the difference there? Brown was back. Okay, Brown had played in 5, 0, and 0. And then he played in 31% of the snap. Okay. He is someone that did have a huge breakout game when Dotson was out. And then since then really hasn't done anything. But the fact of the matter is, it's like Cam Sims, if he is going to play about 40% of the snaps, he is someone that it just takes one target for him to get some points for you. It takes one target and one reception for him to really pay off and help your build where you're paying up for a bunch of the studs on this slate. So that is a very interesting price point play. At the same time, like Logan Thomas, this is a strange one. He's been injured this whole season. And then last week came in and played 72% of the snaps. Now he only had 3 targets, but at the same time, the playing time is king. Obviously, we know that. And let's just say they're playing from behind. Like Logan Thomas could get 6 targets. He was someone that, throughout his career had been a target getter, a consistent player. When he was on the field, that's always been the biggest question with him, is getting him on the field. He is a cheap price point play. I will say Dax, he is someone that continues to pop on film. It wouldn't be shocking to see him get 30% of the snaps as well and get a target or 2. He has looked good. It feels like to me that he has earned himself some more playing time. Okay, so we got 3 decent Washington Commanders values. I will say Logan Thomas just at that price point is a very strange price point play. Someone you could easily fit into your build. And I'll just stick with the Commanders while we're here. Show you guys kind of the other process with the Commanders. Now, Taylor Heineke, I do think he's priced up a little bit too much. He is not someone that should break the slate. Now, can he get 2 1-yard rushing touchdowns or something like that? He can. He is going to rush the ball a little bit if those lanes are open. He's just not going to throw the ball enough. And he's not that good of a runner to make you need to go out of your way to play him. Now, Terry McLaurin is certainly someone you could look at. He is playing like 100% of the snaps, guys. Okay, so he is someone that should have a nice floor. And given the price point here, 8.2 to get a guy playing 100% of the snaps while getting, 8 or more targets, especially since Taylor Heineke has been the quarterback, that is very intriguing. Like, it is a tough play to pass up on at 8.2, even given the matchup with the Eagles, a matchup that is very difficult. But at the same time, he should be a strong play. And then I also do really like Antonio Gibson on the slate. With J.D. McKissic out, he's going to be the pass-catching back. And yes, Washington's defense has been much better lately, so they can keep this game close. So the point in which people will make, well, he's the pass-catching back, the Washington Commanders are going to be playing from behind, that doesn't always work. I think Sunday Night Football is a good example of that. The Chargers came out and played well. The Niners kind of struggled offensively, having too many mouths to feed pretty much. And that game was a lot different game script-wise than people would have predicted. Okay, so I don't ever like to go too gung-ho on trying to predict game script, but, there is that potential that this game does get out of hand. I don't really know. It's a division game. I do kind of expect it to be close, but let's just say the Eagles are playing with the lead. That would lead to more snaps for Antonio Gibson, who did see 58% of the snaps last week. And at this price point, still pretty cheap for a guy that should be more involved in the pass game. Brian Robinson's kind of an interesting play. He is getting a ton of carries per game, just not getting used in the passing game, because why would you? You'd rather play Antonio Gibson in the passing game. For Brian Robinson to hit value, he needs to get a rushing touchdown. Okay, and it really just comes down to, if they get to the goal line, are they going to be on the 1 where it's a quarterback sneak, or is it going to be on the 2 or 3 where maybe you're going with Brian Robinson over Antonio Gibson as well? Now, that's the biggest question there. And then the reason why we're getting all that value for Brown, for Sims, and even Dax, or even Logan Thomas, is Jahan Dotson. Okay, is he going to play the full allotment of snaps? That's the biggest question. If he is going to play the full allotment of snaps, this is a very cheap price point for him as well. Okay, so we are getting the Washington Commanders all priced down, I think due to the matchup, but I also think DraftKings just didn't know who exactly to price up, which I would agree with. It is a guessing game here for the Washington Commanders, but is it within the realm of possibilities for Dotson to go out and have a great game? It is. He certainly could. And he is someone, when he was active, he was playing about 85% of the snaps. Okay, so it's just the biggest question is he going to play the full allotment of snaps that he had been prior to his injury? Okay, that's the first question. And then the second one is all right, is he only playing 50% of the snaps? Because then like some of that value that I pointed out earlier could be there. And I still think it can be there regardless. But at the same time, they are excited to get Dotson back. And at 5K, that might just be worth the risk in this matchup. Now, obviously, you're playing two receivers that are priced too cheap in a tough matchup against the Eagles. That's a worry to me. And then from there, guys, I do like the path of kind of just playing Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and then Devonta Smith or Dallas Goedert. The biggest issue that I'm having is that obviously you can't fit those guys all into your same build. Maybe you're going with Devonta Smith instead of A.J. Brown. Now, obviously, A.J. Brown has been extremely consistent, but I think we do have to make a choice between Smith or Brown, and that's a worry. Okay, Smith is on the field a lot. He's actually on the field more than Brown. Smith is playing about 90% of the snaps, whereas Brown's playing like 80 to 90% of the snaps. So it's not a big difference, but at the same time, there's a potential that Devonta Smith does go off and break the slate. Like, I don't particularly love fading any Eagles receiver like A.J. Brown or Smith, but also at the same time, you might have to, which is unfortunate. And then looking at Dallas Goedert, he is also someone that's playing 90% of the snaps, guys. The targets continue to be there for him. You look at that Houston game, that was a tough matchup, and he went off against Houston. So, like, he is a very cheap price point play. He is someone that, once again, you probably could play in the captain spot instead of Smith as well as if you want to. Obviously, people are going to be scared of that matchup. And so he is someone that, you could look at as well. And then from there, I don't really see the point of chasing any potential Eagles value, like Quez Watkins playing a decent amount of snaps, just not getting enough targets, or like manufactured touches. Same thing with Pascal Siakam, playing about Pascal Siakam. What the heck? Zach Pasquale. Sorry about that. He's playing about 30% of the snaps, and just not enough for you to really warrant any consideration, and not enough on film to like kind of warrant any consideration. Like when Laviska Shenault on Thursday Night Football was priced at 3K, I'm like, he is at least getting manufactured touches. Like, it wouldn't be too shocking to see him break a big play. We just don't see that with any of these plays here. So the fact that they are priced up a little bit too much, and the fact that they aren't getting like manufactured touches, not something you want to go out of your way to play. So can Kenneth Gainwell score a touchdown? He certainly can. This is a lineup path in which I probably would just look to rebuild. So let's try that. So maybe instead of going Gibson, you go Goddard, and then you can fit Kenneth Gainwell in there. Don't exactly love that too much. Let's look at one with Goddard in the captain spot, and then you can play A.J. Brown or Smith. And then we have 2.3 left over. Not exactly something that you love too much. Let's see what we can do with this. Maybe you go Smith still. Then I guess you could still fit Gainwell in there. That's okay. Obviously, we don't love that. Never a good thing to be fading like A.J. Brown on any slate, especially this one. So let's try it one more time. Let's try two more versions, okay? There's this version here, which if we get news that Dotson's going to be limited, this is a build that I like. We're still getting A.J. Brown in there. Devonta Smith is the captain. We're kind of just expecting this to be a pass-heavy game. Like, this is not a terrible build. And this is where I was saying, like, I kind of like the fact that Cam Sims is that cheap. Even if he only plays like 20% of snaps, maybe he does get a target. It won't be too crazy. You should be getting a cheap, like 2 DK point play, which obviously never a big thing, but you still are fitting all the studs in there. It could happen. It's an okay thought process. And then here's a build that I'll fully admit is kind of ugly, but once again, you could go Kenneth Gainwell filling in there, playing Dotson at the captain spot, hoping that he comes back really healthy and ready to go, playing that full allotment of snaps once again, and it just wouldn't be shocking to see him break a couple of big plays. Obviously, if he is getting big plays, then you don't expect Terry McLaurin to really be dominating the way that he has been the last 3 weeks. And then, you're just playing Kenneth Gainwell. That's the unfortunate thing here, is that we just keep ending up on Kenneth Gainwell, guys. Let's have a game, Kenneth Gainwell. Lineup path is telling us to play you. Unfortunately, maybe go Jake Elliott instead and hope for the best. Maybe go, one of the kickers again. Like, you could do that. That's not terrible. We've seen kickers hold value on these slate. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Let's have a good slate. If you guys want to become a 9to5 member, get access to the NFL DraftKings lineup optimizer, you can. That is included in the 9to5 membership, which is a fantasy golf membership, a premium golf membership for you guys. You can check that out. It's $10 a month, including that, as well as the NBA DFS lineup optimizer as well. So if you want to, check it out. If not, give a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to put out more content for you guys. Thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.